King and Yates, they bridging the gap. From the US to Dubai, put pins on the map. Ball is life, and that's a fact. And a baller's life, about that exact. King and Yates, they bridging the gap. From the US to Dubai, put pins on the map. There's a time to score and a time to assist. Ain't no I in team, let the winning commence. From generation to generation, game don't stop. The new and old school got the game on lock. It's all legendary, it's all necessary. We all been all-stars before February. And after that, King and Yates, after racks. But really trying to get some wins, not just padding stats. Two basketball lovers through happenstance. Built a bond that led to greatness that advanced.
BTG Nation.
Listen, they bridging the gap. They bridging the gap.
Listen, KG said it. We here, bridging the gap, man.
I'm glad he could pronounce it.
Hold on, let's listen to that again.
Listen, they bridging the gap. They bridging the gap.
He took that pause.
He's struggling a little bit.
Look, it got there though, Ticket. We know. Yeah. We know, man. BTG Nation, what's up? We are here, OG, triple OG, episode 18, right here from our new home, First Collection Hotel in JVC.
18 from here?
This is 18. No, it's not the 18. This is 18 from the episode.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
no, we ain't go for that fast, but 18 for season 3.
Okay.
I think this is the 4th episode at the new spot.
Okay.
2 with guests, 2 without.
4th of many.
Yeah, man. It's a lot going on, man. It's spring break right now, and so we don't have any training sessions going on right now or camp. You know, this is one time where we're taking a break, and it's a timely one.
Yep.
It is a timely
Much
one.
needed.
Yes. And I was just talking to the young buck about what's going to happen pretty much after the break. One, I'm gonna be a father. You know, so let's go back to this one again. Not because I'm gonna be getting it, because it's gonna be taking it, but it's all a blessing. But you know, that's gonna be a new place in life. But for most solid men, that's like a battery in your back, right? And so, if anything, that's just gonna get you even more hyped to grind type stuff. But then we got the last term, and we always end
with a bang.
On a bang. And so this is one of those bangs that we're going to make sure the whole UAE hears type of thing. And so you got it lined up with the shootouts. We got the league. We got a couple surprises.
A lot of surprises. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, man. I'm hyped.
You know, you said we ended with a bang. Last year,
yeah,
we ended with a bang, but you was out with COVID.
Yeah, yeah. Man. Wild timing, too.
I was like, dang, you would have had a great time with that.
Yeah.
It was nice. But we going to, trust me, what we're going to do this year, we're going to double that.
Yeah.
Double up on that.
We got so much going on. I was telling you earlier that the vlog, because we've been probably like a month or 2 behind on the vlogs. And so volume 3 is dropping probably this week. Real good energy. The young buck is getting better and better and better. And so you're going to like that one. It's a little bit more of you in the action of things. And me too a little bit. But,
I don't mind being in the background. That's my life.
But more so it's not like this. It's you just got the mic, you forget the mic is on. And you just doing what you do, coaching. And that's like that inside stuff of my Rashad vibe, you know? It's a real good insight to where we always
like pick up any bad words, did we?
You know, we got edited in this 2023, so they take up everything out of there. But it was real heavy. So you're gonna love it when you see that. But how you feeling about your break? Because we have plenty of episodes where you talking about you making sure you get your mental space.
Yeah.
What you got looking forward to?
Man, I'm still doing work. Don't get me wrong. We got a lot of stuff to catch up, but just knowing I don't have to physically be somewhere every day is a lot, man. That's taking a lot of burden off my shoulders. I think one more day of work, then I can breathe easy for like 2 days.
Yeah.
And get ready for the weekend.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I got to send you one of our accounting sheets. I just remembered because I just finished talking to the bank lady, but I got to send you the last accounting page.
Oh.
Yeah. But all good things.
Okay.
Just checking some things off the list.
Okay.
Yeah, because I meant to send it to you earlier. But man, what you got anything? Because you quiet as kept. First of all, shout out to our parents. Our parents definitely help us with some getaways that we don't know about sometimes, or some little extra things that we can get to. But you are still the guru of that, of finding something. Listen, I got to give you your props, man. You always find something to do. You always find something to do with a nice price range in seclusion.
Yes.
Am I lying?
Yeah, seclusion is key. That's key.
What you got your eye on?
Let's just say I got someone special coming in Sunday, and
Man, that's creeping up.
they'll be here for about 15 days.
What's up, player?
And no, I ain't a player.
I know. I'm keeping it cold. They don't know.
But I got a lot of stuff planned.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot.
You got to make sure that person links up with us too. I haven't gotten a chance to ever meet them.
Oh yeah. They're definitely coming through.
Yeah.
I want them to meet Jamila
And we might be in. It's cool because we might be in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
And so you can kill two stones with one bird. Or is it one bird with two stones?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah. But don't kill any birds if you don't have to.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Let's talk about that. There's two pigeons. They're not. They're like doves. They're doves. They're not nasty pigeons like from back at the crib.
Oh.
They're like two beautiful doves.
Uh-huh.
They won't stay off my balcony.
Oh, I was like, where are we going with this?
Yeah, and you know what I'm saying? No, for real. This is serious. And the 2 years I've been in this apartment, 2.5 years, whatever, I never had any issues.
Yeah.
I clean off my balcony every day.
Yeah.
And I come back and it's bird poop everywhere. I'm like, yo, I got a fake owl over here. But now I don't have you're supposed to have a real life-size owl.
Yeah.
I got the flat ones. You know They just, one pooped on it.
Yeah.
I got two on this. I got one on each side and two on the floor. And I'm like, what? So now I got something for them because I don't want to kill them. Seriously, man. Like when I just hang clothes out to dry.
That's true though.
They be on the clothesline.
That's
Like, yo, y'all ain't got nothing else better to do.
Yeah.
And so I looked up. I did some extensive research. What's the last resort to keep them off my balcony without killing them? Right? Because the fake owl thing, it costs too much here to get. So it says Irish Spring. So I'm gonna put little pieces of Irish Spring up there.
Yeah.
They say animals hate that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna say I just ordered 3 bars that took like 7 days to get here.
Hey man, listen. that Irish Spring convo is like, that's the Irish Spring category of topic is its own thing right there. Irish Springs is one of those first things as a young man that you ended up using to clean yourself and wash.
Because you ain't know any better.
Because you ain't know any better, right? But then I heard some stories about dudes getting caught up cheating because after they cheat they go clean with Irish Spring.
Yeah.
Man, that Irish Springs, boy. That's one of them. Add that to the grooming lesson.
Yeah.
Don't touch that Irish Spring.
Hold on, man. Since you mentioned the grooming thing, yo, young bread eater, bread winner, whatever his name is, right? You've been using the thing. It's a lot easier, right?
Hey, look, he can't even talk because he eating these daggone cookies over here.
Right.
Shout out to my guy Sunday here at the hotel who got us some hazelnut cookies, right? And so he was like, he said, Ryan, did you have these? This is what Ilya's asking me, right? I was like, yeah, but they too dry for me, right? And so he took it, and it was a real hard snap. You know what I'm saying? It was like you cracking a bone. I was like, see, I don't like cookies like that. I either like mine like soft or like chewy. Yeah. He said, that's rare for me. I said, what you mean? He said, I've never had a soft cookie before. So when you walked into that's when you walked into that conversation. I was like,
you never had a soft, like a warm soft cookie?
I thought it's like hard cookies are regular.
what? See, look, that ain't right. The only hard cookie?
The hard cookies are the ones that are like store-bought and they've been sitting up for a while. You get a soft cookie, that means it's coming straight from the bakery.
There's only one hard cookie that I like, and it's Famous Amos.
That's okay.
That's okay.
But it ain't a soft cookie.
Yeah, but I'm saying if it's not a soft cookie, because that's the only way I can go. I can't eat. Famous Amos was all right for me. It was all right. Yeah, I know. And Famous Amos is a black man. So we got to get you some black cookies. We're going to make you a full-on black American. Go to Irish Springs. We're going to get him a fade. We're going to get him the sporting waves and the wave cap. We're going to make it happen, man.
You just can't wear one like Marley had the other day.
Oh, man. Marley had on. Marley is one of our young men on our team. He's at that age, that U16 age, 14, 15, where they, trying to get their swagger together. Marley is British Jamaican, young, tall cat, cool kid, new to the program. And he's from the UK, though, so let me make sure I preface this, because that's his style, right? So my guy, Marley, first of all, Marley cost us the championship because he broke his toe during lunch playing, just playing around. But Marley came in support, as a good teammate. Oh. He had the cobalt blue Nike steep tack on. You know how you guys, roadmen, as they say, right? And then he had on the silk purple blue do-rag with the cape out.
Right. Man, I'm like, yo, you came to the game dressed like Shaft. Yo, you can't do that.
It's like Pootie Tang.
Come on, man. Like this cat.
That's my guy too.
No, I love him
to death, but he got a lot to learn.
Yeah, he's got a lot to learn.
Man.
That's why he's with us.
Yeah, but he gonna get there though. And so we're gonna get into it as we always do. Do we have any other Hoop Mountain update from there? Oh man, yes. This past Saturday with a little barbecue.
Oh, the dinner, the second dinner.
Yeah.
Second dinner.
This was
despite
Ramadan,
the beginning of the spring break, people leaving, and
short-term notice too.
Sort of short-term notice. We had an amazing turnout.
It might have been what I came in late because, of course, it was Ramadan, so I was praying and everything. And when I came in, it was like 15 people in there.
No,
more
than that.
Yeah, maybe 15 that I remember talking to, but it was a nice spot. And the beautiful thing about this is the parents orchestrated this. One of the parents talked to me and said, "Yo, we gotta do another one." Yeah. He said, "I'll host it," and I was like, "All right, we're gonna hold you to it." And sure enough,
yeah, we actually have two families set up to do the next two. So,
and that's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Because like we said, we're going to make this a thing, and so it's just taking a show of its own, and so man, I love it. But shout out to the parents again, HMD family, you guys hold it down as always, man.
Man, who was that?
He was here earlier.
Oh, okay.
He wanted to guess. He was here earlier, man. Check it out. But we're gonna get into the podcast. Some of the things. Hold on, let me forget. Hoop Mountain Dubai, Hoop Mountain DXB, Hoop Mountain.ae. Find us online. Get us there. Check in with us. I'll be updating the website this week. More new pictures are coming up. We got a lot of things we've been doing. The dates for the next term will be up there as well. So you guys can check that out online. Man, King, I don't pay much attention to football these days. It's been about 6 years since I've really been invested in NFL. Mm-hmm. I told you to save my mental health, I had to let go because the Cowboys were killing me, right? But I just so happened to come across the bid for the Commanders. It's $6 billion. Did you know?
No, I didn't know.
What? One of the last coaches, I think McDaniel or whatever his name is, he said, "Whoa, $6 billion." He said, "I couldn't even get a free cup of coffee when I was on the staff." That's crazy.
$6 billion. That's crazy.
Yeah, and just to think a sport like that is not international.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that dollar, man, it goes crazy.
I wonder what Snyder bought the team for.
Whatever it was, he definitely making that bank back.
Yeah.
And he'll have some legal fees to pay, but it ain't gonna be nothing.
Yeah, that's like MJ's gonna sell the Hornets. They're worth a few billion now.
Yeah. I think his stake is 1.5,
and that's a small market.
Yeah, and we talk about coaches getting out because it's the new age, and everything. He looking at every time I see MJ on the side, his tequila or whatever he drinking, he immediately sober up as soon as he get to a Hornets game. Immediately he be like, man, what is going on here?
Yeah,
And so go ahead, sell off into the sun, OG.
yeah, he got it, man.
I see people saying that he should start his own league of some sort.
He don't want that headache.
We don't need it.
Yeah, he don't want
Don't need it unless he get a group of people to do it and then he just put his name on it. That's different, right? But it ain't necessary.
Yeah.
It ain't necessary. Lamar Jackson requested a trade as of March the 2nd from the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I see a lot of people talking about leverage and where it plays at and stuff. It's obvious to me that Lamar has all the leverage because he's willing to sit. And he can sit and not play because he had his money. I think he's already collected $32 million or something crazy like that. And he had some endorsements and all those other different things. And the Baltimore Ravens, it'll be a bigger loss for the Ravens to move forward without a quarterback than for Lamar Jackson to sit and miss a season. Because what are they going to do in the meantime? Because as much as they're trying to play with his value and all those other things, they would not have been in the playoffs. They would not have been competitive without Lamar. And now you take that away, and maybe you want to go get a rookie quarterback and trade him for somebody for a draft pick. I know Jim Harbaugh is probably like, God damn. Yeah, my job is going to be on the line because y'all are taking my guy away.
It is tough for the Ravens, especially the coach, because like, shit, what am I going to do? But Lamar is in a precarious situation too, because behind closed doors, the talk is, one, Cleveland already screwed up.
Yeah,
Minnesota screwed up before them, giving Kirk Cousins like $75 million guaranteed, and then Arizona screwed up, and based on what Lamar wants, the rest of the league is like, yo, we just can't do that.
Yeah, and it's not his fault because out of all the names that you named, if you were going to give somebody some bread, it should be one of only 2 quarterbacks in the NFL who have been MVP and first team All Pro. Yeah. It's Patrick Mahomes, and that's Lamar Jackson. Yeah. And so now Lamar is like, yeah, y'all messed up.
The only problem is, Yates, is that we always talk about this. You're only good as your last game, right? Mm-hmm. And the thing is, like the last 2 years, they're looking at it like, yo, he hasn't been available. That's the only thing. And so rumor has it today that I heard was he was offered $250 with $175 guaranteed. And
they saying those numbers are all inaccurate too, because I've been seeing those reports too.
Well, I'm just saying that I had heard this one this morning. This is one that they said this is what it was. So I don't know. Nobody knows. But the thing is, like, you also have to think about the type of player you are. You are a high risk player.
Yeah, but I would say that maybe because he's in there doing the talking for him, and you know how you've talked about different players to where instead of taking that crazy amount of money, take what you can now so that they can pay the offensive line around you, and they can pay for
he got a good line. He's got to get some receivers though.
And that's what I'm saying. So I think that more so than anything, he's holding out, maybe not just for the money, but for the plan of the future. It's like, are y'all going to put some help around me? Because I've watched every quarterback around my draft age and everything get stuff, and I've done more without. And so what are you guys going to do in the front? Because what's the legendary owner name? Is it Ozzie?
Well, Ozzie Newsome doesn't run the team anymore.
I know, that's what I'm saying. And so I'm seeing people saying that there's a clear difference in the way the organization has been ran in the past in comparison to now, and maybe that's another thing that's like, look, maybe it's not just the money. Yeah. Maybe it's like, look, I don't see that you guys are going to be really prepared to keep me here long term.
So my thing is, like, in this situation, I think it wouldn't even be an issue if he had a true agent. Like, for example, if he had Rosenhaus right now, deal would have been done. Mm-hmm. Because you're sending people into a room of wolves, and they don't really have the respect or the experience to deal with them. And and people say, well, you're saving 2-3%. Listen, man, you're making $200+ million. Mm-hmm. Bump that $4 million, $5 million. You need to focus on football. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be worried about the other distractions and stuff. Let other people deal with that, because football, their contracts are so how can I say, intricate in terms of like what you have to get up front or by incentives and things like that, because injury can happen just like that and your career is over. And so you can't just go play with this, man.
I like it though, because I think the NFL needs some type of adjustment business wise that is a little bit more leaning to the players, because it's a new era. I don't know if it will or won't.
It won't. I'm gonna tell you why.
Change.
Because it's a volatile sport, man. You can't guarantee. Listen, it's 53 dudes on a roster, and that's not including the practice squad.
Right.
Practice squad dudes make $5,000 a week. You know what I'm saying? So you think about that. 53 dudes plus another, I don't know, maybe 20, 25, right?
Right. It's 100 plus in the locker room for sure.
You know what I'm saying? You can't guarantee all that money, man. You just can't. There's no way.
I mean, this is why I think it'd be interesting, because that position is the quarterback position, and so everybody always talks about how that's the face of the league.
Right, but that's why they make $40-50 billion a year.
Yeah, and so it's gonna be interesting. I do like that he's going against the system and trying to make something happen. I think in the end he'll get to play and he'll get to where he wants to be.
Of course, he's gonna play. Le'Veon Bell played. But Le'Veon Bell signed the same contract with the Jets that the Steelers offered him. Can you imagine if Le'Veon Bell didn't leave the Steelers that last year or two that Ben was there? They contend for a Super Bowl.
But Le'Veon Bell is running back, and he was a Steelers organization, right? But I don't think the Ravens organization and where it currently stands, it will give him that same type of potential to win. That's what I'm saying. I think that's why he's putting it.
If Lamar plays for the Ravens, they have a chance to win because everything's built around him.
But
the structure of the offense is with him.
The AFC tough though.
I didn't say it wasn't tough. I'm just saying, but everything is built around him and his style of play. They just need to add another weapon on the out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The receiver. But the thing is, I'm just saying that everybody says, I like what he's doing. Man, bump that. Don't play with your money. That's like if you get ready to go buy a house tomorrow. Are you gonna let somebody represent you that has no experience in this? No, you ain't playing around. Stop playing with me, man. Stop playing with me with that shit.
But like I said, it depends on the battle, because what we said about Kyrie before. It's like if you really are standing fast on this, because when we think about what your potential could be,
it's a difference in negotiating your NFL contract, though.
Right, but if you feel like I have $35 million and $35 million is enough, right? Somebody said Lamar acting like he rolling in cash. Like shit, $35 million is $35 million. Maybe potential 200, but you can't count the money that you don't have, right? That you ain't signed. So what if he's saying that I feel like this is my value, and with you saying that the sport is volatile and that anything could possibly happen, I'd rather be completely healthy and integrity and knowing my value and just sit on my $35 million and let y'all go about your way. Because if that's the case, because you always say, if you're going to go, then go all the way. And it's if he say, look, I got my 35 mil, I figure out what y'all gonna do without me. I'm happy with my 35 mil. Can you be mad at that?
But we all know he ain't doing that though.
Well, I mean,
I'm just saying.
But if he sit this year, then what?
I get what you're saying, but he ain't. Trust me.
Trust. Look. Trust.
He's not sitting when there's $200 million on the table.
Yeah, and again, he's a quarterback that can really he changes somebody's entire trajectory. But let's move into some basketball stuff. Bradley Beal under police investigation after a post-game incident with a fan in Orlando, Florida.
What happened?
And so a fan claimed, this is one of those things that fans got to be smart. A fan ran up on Bradley Beal saying that he cost him $1,300 in his bet. And so this is after it. And so they said that they were exiting the court in the visitors tunnel and they were headed to the locker room when an unidentified man remarked to Bill, "You made me lose about 1,300 you F word." You know, you can fill in the blanks of that, right? And then Bill turned around and walked towards them. of that man that made a comment, and then I think somebody put his hands in his face, and Bill swatted his hands out. Kind of a little tussle, and I guess they're gonna try to make that as battery. But that's where, and they got this disclaimer at the bottom that said legal sports betting has spread across the nation over the past 5 years, and 35 states have launched betting markets since 2018. Yeah, and so that's what comes with this, right? When you let sports betting into, because you're thinking about the dollar.
I mean, but even if it wasn't, even if sports betting wasn't legal right now, you still may lose $1,300 because you could have a private bet at home. Bradley Beal, he can't get sucked into that.
If you walk up on me after the game, like,
listen, man, you've been the top dog at your level. You gotta understand, like, some stuff you gotta let go. You're shut the. I'm not even gonna talk about this shit. He's got 200 plus 300 million, whatever, and you're gonna let this dude get you. Come on, man, get you jammed up.
King, you telling me you walking out and somebody come up to you, run up to you, call you a whatever word, and in your face, and just run up on you, especially right after a loss too.
Listen, man. Well, he's used to a lot of losses, so don't give me that shit. The other thing is that Bradley Beal hasn't made it this far without hearing some wild stuff.
Yeah, but from the stands. But if you running up in the space, you never know. People with a lot of money have access to the players, and they sit on this. Come on, man, stop playing with that, man. You gotta Bradley. You've been in the league too long to get sucked into some shit like that. I'm not mistaken. I'm not talking about somebody sitting on the side row. I'm talking about like after the game over, somebody pull up on you. Okay, you just never know though. I don't know. I know for sure you ain't paying it that cool if somebody run up on you.
Come on, man. Yeah, because I'm broke.
He didn't.
I ain't got nothing to lose.
He ain't choked nobody or nothing. He just, somebody's like pointing finger. He smacked their hand out of his face.
No. Bradley's supposed to do what LeBron and them dudes do. Like, yo,
get this security.
Come get this dude, man. I'm worth $200 million.
I'm the ticket. Come on, before we jump into some stuff, you had a cool post, important post recently that you put up, and if you follow Coach King, you know he don't post nothing unless I'm like, yo, King, you got to post something, right? And so you posted something special this last, what was it, 2 days ago?
Yep.
You want to share what that was?
Yeah, that was
inspired by.
It was something for Coach Jones. His name is Cornell Jones. He's a long-time high school coach, boys basketball and football in the Washington D.C. area, and
we've had him on the show too, guys.
Had him on the show several
times. Go back to last season.
He's
on here.
He is the genesis of how I even got into high school coaching, and he's very, very important to me in my life.
Yeah.
He's almost a father figure to me. Like I mentioned before, he's a friend. He's been a colleague. He's an advisor, mentor, and I'm a part of his family. And I'm very blessed to be in that space. And he is one that has dedicated his life to basketball and football, and in terms of just helping young men and women, move on to the next stage in their life. And he doesn't get the recognition he deserves. I mean, he recently, I know I posted about him getting a jersey enshrinement at Episcopal High School, but before that, he just got inducted into the Hall of Fame at Fairmount High School.
Just now, after those 4?
Just now, after winning 4 straight high school state championships.
But I will say, some of those things I realized that in order to have those type of things happen, there got to be a certain level of organization.
True.
I know. They don't know Fairmount Heights like we know Fairmount Heights.
Yeah, I know. It's just
which makes his accomplishment even more gangster.
4 state championships.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Where? Because that's important. Where and how? Like, what are the spaces? What are the platforms? Who could we call out, point to be like, yo, this guy needs to be talked about?
Well, the funny thing is, years ago, I had collected all of his data from his high school years, as much as I could, and I was talking to my guys who used to work for the Post, but they all moved on to different spaces. So
Yeah.
So once you remove yourself from certain areas in terms of coaching and things, you don't know the new guys.
Yeah.
And it's a shame, man. Like, this guy, he got 25 years at Episcopal coaching their JV while doing double duty
At TC.
as a varsity coach with TC or Episcopal. I mean,
That's
oh man, it's just look at the stuff I named, man.
yeah. That's what it's like.
Football and basketball state championships. It's crazy.
Coaching, and then he did his thing as a player.
Yeah.
So that's where it's interesting because, man, if the podcast was on the road, as soon as we had the budget to go fly somewhere and do a show, we're going home.
Yep.
And we would take care of that and getting that pushed out. But it's like, man, that's where we missed the ball. I'm tired of seeing podcasts that are about relationships, that are about like what a gender role should be in a relationship, and does a man have power if he doesn't make the most money in a relationship, or this is how, this is that. Like, these outlets that we have the opportunity to create and make, that's so we can really inform people of something, right? There's so many people at the crib who could be sharing information and making sure that people like Coach Jones are getting highlighted so we don't lose what was before us. But, everybody is surface level thinking. So, God willing, if something pops for us and I can negotiate something, we can take the show on the road to the crib, we'll take care of that platform for Coach Jones. Believe that.
Yeah, for sure.
Believe that.
And there are people that would do it, they just don't know.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and everybody's so caught up in trying to, take off that, sometimes you don't have time to discuss these things, man. But, he's definitely an underrated legend in the area.
Yeah.
I mean, he coached a volleyball team to the finals.
That's
city
gangster,
finals.
'cause I don't. What do you know about volleyball? Because I didn't.
Right.
What's cool though is, because it just reminds me of when we were going to talk about Paul Silas.
Yep.
And we'll get back around to those guys too. But also rest in peace, Willis Reed.
Yep.
But man, that just reminds that's Coach Jones' era, right?
Yep.
Like those type of men. And man, we appreciative of you, OG.
Yep.
Like for sure, right? Let's talk some college hoops.
Yep.
Is Caitlin Clark the greatest college basketball player of all time, men or women?
She is not, but she's definitely in the conversation.
Yeah.
She's definitely in conversation. I have been, hearing the name, watching some clips, but I never, and I was honest when I said this. I watched women's college basketball. Mm-hmm. I never watched Iowa.
Never.
I just don't. And I talked to Tiara Ruffin-Pratt, the legend herself.
Yeah.
And I asked her just 2 nights ago, I said, is she for real? And when Tiara stamped her and said, yes, she's the college version of Steph Curry.
Yeah.
I said, shit, say no more.
And what's funny is Tiara don't stamp.
No.
Because, I asked her about Bukers and Fudd,
Yeah.
and she gave me the face. She's like, man, yeah. And the whole world is going crazy about them.
Yeah.
But for her to say this about Caitlin Clark,
Yeah.
and now I will say a lot of my guys hit me and be like, yo, my boy hit me and say, yo, who is the greatest college basketball of all time? And why is it Caitlin Clark? He was like, it's her.
Yeah.
It got to be, because he was watching. He was like, 41, 10, and 10. Like, they ain't seen a triple-double like that since
It's crazy.
ever. But I watched some highlights, too, and she...
Yeah, like this. I've seen the highlights, but I just need to see a game.
Yeah.
But our time difference is so crazy here, and because for women's basketball, man, you're talking about like, I've seen Cheryl Swoops.
And we got to talk about that right after this, too.
Like, I've seen some tough women's basketball players, man. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I want to stay there for a second, because I always hear about the GOAT conversations regarding women's basketball, and they talk Diana Taurasi and all that other stuff. But I will say this, for me, because my mom is huge on sports, I watched everything. I remember the Houston Comets going back to back. I remember watching them. And then now that I get to look back and I get to see Cheryl Swoops put 47 up in the tournament and like really kill, I always thought that Cynthia Cooper and Cheryl Swoops were two of the GOATs, top two, right? Between them, they were the best that ever played. And far too often, I only hear Bird or DT or whatever.
Well,
but they didn't. Matter of fact, it was just her birthday the other day. One of her anniversary, sports anniversary. And the WNBA didn't even acknowledge it.
Well, you talked about organization.
Yeah.
WNBA doesn't have any organization. Because remember, Cheryl Swoops was like one of the first women to have her own signature.
And it just re-released.
Really? Yeah.
And it's selling still. Like
they could hoop, you know, and don't get me wrong, Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi, I love them.
Yeah.
They like, I've heard friends of mine who are scouts say that like Diana Taurasi's like, she's like LeBron. You know what I'm saying? I've heard them say that. And these are guys that do this for a living, you know, and so they're tough. But again, it's a WNBA, man. You know, and for as much as people say like people don't support it enough, they don't do a good job of making sure they bridge the gap between the past, the present, and the future. They don't do that.
They did it. Man, like I'm sitting here because now I'm thinking, right? Like I'm taking Dawn Staley over Sue Bird, right? I'm taking Lisa Leslie, but I'm
different
going
positions.
No, Dawn Staley's a point guard.
She was a scorer though. She was a point guard. Like, how can I say it? Like she got buckets. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw her really play.
Right.
She gets buckets.
But when
Sue Bird is like Dawn Staley was like Isaiah. Sue Bird was like Stockton. Like just pass.
All right. Well, I'm gonna keep going, and I take Lisa Leslie over Lauren Jackson or
that's easy.
any of those bigs that you put into that space, right? But when I look about, because you know what I'm thinking about is Martin, the Martin episode where Cole and Tommy and Martin had to play against the team that Tina and them brought, and they brought Dawn Staley and Lisa Leslie and all of them to the spot and show swoops, and I'm like, what was the difference between the media and whoever was behind the WNBA then? Because it was lit.
But here we go again. It's almost the same thing as on the men's side. People think that what's newer, what's shinier, better graphics, whatever, is better.
Yeah.
They have no idea. Like those.
Yeah.
The trio you just named. This was for real.
You think about it was Cynthia Cooper, Tina Thompson, and Cheryl Swoops.
Yeah.
Together.
Exactly.
Like, but this is what I would say. Like, and I see where it's gonna go because you know we talk about Boeheim being at Syracuse too long. You know, Sue Bird and them with the way that the WNBA is. You know, they're holding on to spots that some younger girls should have, so that they can kind of usher in a new spot. But I'm sitting here looking at like they don't know how to do anything without them too.
Well, the problem is this. All right, it's almost like LeBron being in the league for 20 years, right? Mm-hmm. There's nobody taking their spots. Like Sue Bird, every year she's still going deep into the playoffs. You see what I'm saying? Like somebody's got to come in and knock them off their block. But who in the new group is doing it?
Yeah, we're gonna see.
I mean, I'm just being real with you. That's like LeBron.
They got Sabrina.
You know what I'm saying?
And
like
they got Stewie.
Like you talked about like, you know the Lakers and things like that, right? And you know you're a big Laker fan, and you know you guys have tradition. But as much as people want to say like they're disappointed in the Lakers right now,
it's hard.
Who's knocked LeBron off his pedestal yet?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, and we still got a chance. The one thing I wish we could call Tiara right now, because that's a real question. Because like, Kaylin is nice, and you say somebody got to knock Sue Bird in them off their spot. Maybe it's her. Because Sabrina from Oregon, the girl from Oregon, she's in New York. She's been killing, been doing her thing too. But yeah, Dawn Staley and them. You really don't hear about how great, honestly, any of those black women players were, because they only talk about Sue Bird and
the current ones,
right now. And like the NBA does a great job of making sure you highlight the past and everything.
But what's her name gets a lot of love, but she hasn't really. She's been playing well the last couple of years, but she hasn't been dominating the way she used to be. From Tennessee, that was with Sparks. Did she? What's her name?
Candace Parker.
Candace Parker.
But that's because she's on TV though.
She was a dog.
Because she's a dog, but you see her all the time, so it's kind of like you gotta talk about it because she's making sure she's relevant, right?
And you know what else hurt?
But she gangster. She was the only MVP and Rookie of the Year the same year.
But what else hurt the WNBA was when what's her name retired?
Maya Moore.
Maya Moore. Like,
yeah, because that was the one.
You know what I'm saying? Why did she retire? You just got tired of it, But I will say this. People say whatever they want. I've seen this with my own eyes. Fudd can play. Yeah. Like, it ain't, trust me. It might be a personal preference that someone doesn't like him or whatever.
Yeah.
She can play. Because every time she's on the court, yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I feel like we haven't seen a good dose of Fudd yet because injuries.
Injuries, man.
Yeah.
Bukers either.
Yeah.
Like, just think if they were healthy.
Fudd can go, huh?
Different story.
I'm looking forward to that.
Different story.
Yeah. So Caitlin Clark, she's deserving of everything that's coming.
Yeah.
She got I think they got South Carolina. Let me see. First of all, shout out to Virginia Tech women's basketball. So Kenny Brooks, the head coach there, is taking them to their first ever Final Four.
Yeah.
And for new people, I got the luxury of already knowing all of this stuff because he and coach, my college coach, are best friends.
Okay.
They were assistant coaches together at VMI.
Okay.
And then Kirby came to EMU, which is in Harrisonburg, and they grew up as like friends together.
Okay.
And so then Kenny Brooks, who played at JMU, ended up taking over that stuff. But Brooks, while he was at JMU, he had like 25 girls go to the WNBA, consistently won the CAA, he was killing. It was a mid-major powerhouse. Mm-hmm. And it still is today because of what he set up years ago. And now only in his second or third, fourth year or so, he got them in the Final Four. And as a 1 seed, and you talk about the ACC, talking about Virginia Tech, you talking about women's basketball. When have you ever? Right? And so I think right now Iowa either plays them or they play.
I hope they don't play South Carolina.
I think they might,
South Carolina is over.
Yeah, but they talking about people want to see what that's going to look like.
Listen.
What's that going to look like?
Listen. Caitlin is nice. South Carolina's just got a mob, though.
Iowa versus South Carolina. Ooh, and Virginia Tech versus LSU. And LSU got that girl Reese from Baltimore.
Yeah.
And
that's Mike Reese's daughter.
Yeah.
And he was his son is at Maryland.
Yeah.
He's nice.
Yeah.
And Mike Reese was a hell of a player himself.
She a dog. She talk about how she
she was at Maryland first.
Yeah. Ashley Owusu?
She's at Virginia Tech.
But she's not playing. She hasn't played.
With her hand, yeah.
Oh, I thought they just had her out.
Yeah. Yes, she has some issues with her hand, and then with a hand injury, and then also, she needed to lose some.
Oh, I thought there was like a beef there. No, they redshirted her, or she just not playing.
I don't know what they did exactly, but
I like her game.
She was at Maryland.
I remember.
But she would never. I heard a few things, that she would never get in shape.
Yeah.
And there were, some parent issues.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, ain't surprised. But I hope she get back to it. So that's going to be some good energy.
She can hoop.
She can hoop. That's that James Harden that we were talking about. And there's some young girls. Matter of fact, I was talking to Luna's mom at the barbecue for a second. We're talking about how, because Tara's mom brought up Slav's wife, Cameo, who comes and plays with us sometimes, right? And I was like, Cameo can really hoop. Like, she got G. And so Tara will go wherever Cameo is playing sometimes on Sundays just so she can watch her play. And I was like, we want to find women or girls that are hooping in a good fashion so that our girls can see it.
Right.
Because our guys can at least see us play, right? They can
see
at least
you play.
Yeah. But remember where we at. They get to see you play in comparison to a lot of, you heard Marley's like, yo, I didn't know Coach King is still. He's like, I've never seen any of my coaches do that. And that's a big impact. But our girls got to get somebody, they got to be able to see somebody. Like, Cameo, you got to come out and play some more.
Yes.
For sure. Let's get into, let's stay at college basketball. And so that Pistol Pete record, I think we mentioned it when Uncle Ro was on, and then we mentioned it lightly here that he has the most points in NCAA history.
Yeah.
It's like, 3,000 and what?
You looked at it. I can't really get that.
He got a lot. And they say Pistol Pete did that, first of all, in the SEC, right? At LSU. And then he did that in what, 3 years? I don't know.
I think he did in 3 years.
To score that many points in 3 years, and I don't think he had.
What was the total on that first?
Let me see. See, we got a Jason Maverick. We got a lot of news over here. Oh, it ain't right here, I don't think. Oh, no.
It should be.
It's right here.
Yeah.
Antoine Davis feels cheated. Dang.
You know,
man. Go ahead. Say what you guys.
Yeah, I'm just appalled that he would say he feels cheated when you had 2 more years to break the record. You couldn't do it. So, hey, man, it just you'll be second. It's okay.
Okay, so in 83 games, LSU star Pistol Pete, he had 3,667 points.
Damn.
Ooh.
83 games?
Yeah, it's more than 50 years. 83 games is the NBA season, right? Man. And so then, of course, he had, 5-time All-Star, 10-year career in the league. And then he died at 40 of a heart attack. And so Davis, who's on a team that is, what is their record? 14-19. He plays for the Detroit Mercy.
Always have ballers, though.
Yeah, they lost to Youngstown State in their last game. And so I think he's like, it's a few points away. He's a few points, like 20-something points away or something like that.
He just needed another game.
Just need another game. And so he was hoping that his school would join this. I didn't even know this existed. And so there's the CBI, the College Basketball Invitational, decided not to give the Titans an opportunity because, one, they're 14-19. They're losing record.
Yep.
And then the school has to pay almost $30,000 to go and play in it because it's like you aren't going to make us any money, but you want to keep playing.
Exactly.
But why would you even play in the CBI? Like, is that why you?
I don't know.
Is that like if you got a kid who's a college or NBA prospect, you get him some more time in front of some scouts or something?
I mean, they're sending their last scout to go to that shit.
Yeah.
I really don't know because it's the NCAA, the NIT, and then this.
It's only the NCAA.
But dude was mad because certain schools did call the organizer of the league and say, "Hey, he shouldn't play. They shouldn't play." But they got every right to say, "Yeah, Pistol Pete's record should not be broken
by that
from somebody who's 14-19." I'm sorry, you 19-14, and you get invited. That's different. But come on, man.
Shit, you 19-14, you probably going NIT.
Yeah, and let's be real, man. Let's be real. You shouldn't even be playing. You shouldn't be paying to play in a tournament in college anyway. Let's just stop.
Yeah, we just talked. You just talked about how expensive that stuff really is.
Yeah,
and when the kids got to look at. I think you brought it up with. You said something Gilbert had said that you wanted to bring up about how much it costs to go to school.
Yeah,
and
Gilbert recently had.
Gilbert wild dude too.
Something that Gilbert Arenas basically said that college kids, aspiring college kids need to understand that the scholarship is free money, and people were, commenting and killing him on this, certain topic, but people really don't understand that your tuition, room and board, travel, access to health facilities, health practitioners, tutors. You get a lot of stuff that regular students don't get. And when you think about some schools when you're out of state, your tuition per year and everything that comes with it, it could be $100,000.
Listen, when you think about that from a business standpoint, because make no mistake about it, like there's no confusion. College sports, college education period is a business now. Yep. It's not about getting kids or anybody through to make sure they learn the most. It's about money.
Yep.
And when you look at it as a money perspective, especially where we are now, you watch every dollar that comes in and out, right? We got to watch every dollar that comes in and out because if it doesn't come to my pocket, if it comes out of my pocket, then where the hell is it going and how are we going to get it back?
Right.
So if you're talking about colleges and it's 12 to 15 kids on the team and each one of them could be in excess of $100,000 that they would pay to come to school per year.
Yep.
and over their 4 years, some 5, that could be $500,000 per person.
Yep.
And you don't pay for it.
Yeah.
Now on the other, there are some things that be like, all right, I come to school, at least make sure I got 3 meals and cotton, all that other good stuff. But how did I get that back?
Well, let me clarify that. The 3 meals in the cot is ridiculous now. There ain't no 3 meals in the cot. 3 outstanding opportunities to eat and a great place to lay your head.
That's why you make good choice of where you go to school too.
I mean, let's just be real. Even if you graduated from somewhere that was subpar, it's different from when you went there. Everything gets better.
Everything.
And even the federal funded Pell Grants have increased significantly.
True.
Like, and kids get a payment from the NCAA.
Yeah, they don't even know much about that one.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, for everybody saying that, like, you getting a free ride is nothing, that's bullshit. And I don't want to curse him, but that's bullshit, because you go to school to be able to have a career in life.
Yeah.
And most jobs nowadays, you have to have a degree. So you can take that $400,000-$500,000 opportunity and flip that into a career.
Man.
And that's you can't put a price on that.
And as you always say, the fight of the 1% is not everybody else's fight. Yeah, there is 1% of the people who like, yo, if I step on campus, I'm making y'all $5 million.
Right.
So break me off a piece.
Yeah.
But it ain't all of us. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Everybody don't deserve the same slice of the pie.
No.
Right?
No. And that's what people don't understand, man. Like, everybody said, pay the players, pay the players.
Pay who?
Right now, who's getting paid? It's the same people
that would have got paid,
who were getting paid under the table back in the day. Now they're just getting paid in open.
Hey, Larry Nager, first of all, Larry Nager got Miami in the Final Four.
I know, man.
And they said that NIL, because they paid some good money. He said, hey, that's an investment well made. Yeah. But shout out to Larry Nager. Now, to sit and say that you got George Mason and Miami to the Final Four, and if I'm not mistaken, that George Mason team had to be like Kansas, like they had to beat some blue blood, some dogs to get there.
Well, what's impressive to me is that when he took the Miami job, he said, I'm gonna do a couple years and I'm done. Man, he's rolling.
Because what that Miami son do for you?
Yeah,
Bentley has his daughter there as cheerleader or something like that.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Listen, we talked about Boeheim was in Syracuse 47 years. I don't know if his career and what he has accomplished as a coach, I don't know if I would put that above what Larry Nager has done, because of, you talk about resources, you talk about ability, and then you talk about just producing. Woo, with what you got, you talking about if Larry Nager, from what we've seen him create out of, without the Pearl Washingtons, McNamara,
Adrian Autry.
Oh my goodness.
Derek Coleman, Billy Owens, the Billy O Show, baby.
Listen,
Carmelo Anthony,
Man, Devendorf, the list goes on and on and on, and then you got Larry Nager.
May rest in peace, Conrad McRae.
Yeah.
Just
Larry Nager, a bad boy.
Yeah.
You got some ties to Larry Nager. I remember seeing Larry Nager's grandkids at the hoop.
Man, them little jokers.
They could hoop a little bit too.
They could hoop. They were bad as hell. Yeah.
They could hoop
too. Their parents would always apologize for them, so it was okay.
Yeah. And bring them back too.
Bring them back. Yeah.
Man, and so you said something funny. Will your college coaches get back to wearing suits again? I just want to know what's wrong with how the college coaches are dressing, man.
Man, listen. You gotta wear a suit, yeah. The only reason I say you gotta wear a suit, Yates,
who you talking about?
Because some people are built like me.
Yeah.
So you can't be built like a Oompa Loompa, and you wearing skinny sweats. You just can't do it, man. You put on a suit, bro. Put on a suit.
Who you talking about?
Come on, man. I'm not gonna say any names, but I'm just saying, you making millions of dollars a year. Wear a suit.
You did. You did send me a picture of the Big Bird suit.
Oh, that's no. So when I say when will college and pro coaches start wearing suits again, I ain't even getting into the women's college, because the women's college basketball coaches are crazy.
Yeah,
they wear anything.
Hey, it's good marketing.
Come on, man.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, what's wrong with the way coaches are dressing now? They got their team like sweater on. The old Bobby Huggins and Bobby Knight vibe. You know, little
Nah,
vest
man.
on, the team
Come on,
stuff.
man. Wear a suit, man. Wear a suit. Look what Moki got on, y'all.
Hey, man.
She on leopard print, Yates.
Woki, she from the country.
Man, come on, man.
That's that southern style, man.
on, man.
Listen, man. I don't know. I would love to see something different too. I like what I see, man. They doing their thing.
No, man. I don't look, and we talk about the proteins. I don't want to see Mike Brown wearing his sweats. Man, put on a suit. I don't want to see Steve Kerr wearing. Who's that? Who you gonna call?
Kenny. I was calling Kenny to see
Okay, yeah.
and pop up and see if he had a little word on it. But Mike Brown is going to battle for his squad. So they clinch a division, clinch playoff spot and everything, and they got a kid, Keegan Murray, who's about to break the rookie record for 3-pointers in a season.
Okay.
And Donovan Mitchell is the one who holds it. And he was like, "Listen, if my guy doesn't make first team all rookie, seeing as though he's about to break that record, and you see who just broke it, who the last person to hold it is Donovan Mitchell. And you see what he's doing to the league. And with number 3 in the West, no disrespect to anybody else, but every shot that he's scored, every basket that he's made during this season has been in some high-stakes games.
Yep.
And we are winning, and he's a big contributing factor to that as a rookie. He said it's BS. And so I ain't saying too much, but I like to see Mike Brown in that conversation for Coach of the Year.
Yeah,
Like, I would say he should be leading it, to be honest. I don't think anybody had a turnaround bigger than theirs.
Right.
Yeah, and so. But speaking of that, let's get into that MVP race.
There's no race.
There's no race?
It's Embiid.
Embiid.
No question.
But I mean, people saying they got questions.
What question about what?
I mean, whether or not Embiid is the guy. You know me. I stand on the side of Embiid, and I think he's been proving himself. But
all he's got to do is finish out the season.
yeah, Embiid said something interesting though, to where it's like, and this has always been the thing, right? Embiid has had some type of pressure to an extent to get his team to a championship in Philly, blase, 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 blase. He mentioned, I'm paraphrasing, he said, it's funny that you guys are putting that pressure on me, but I'm not 2-time NBA MVP. I don't have one MVP. Y'all don't even vote me first team all NBA, not one time that I've been in the league. But now all of a sudden, if I don't win a championship, my legacy as a player is in jeopardy. Like, when did y'all start seeing me as that type of player individually, right? Give me some respect in that space first. But I do think it's interesting as to how Luka and Joker, they don't carry the same criticism a lot of people do. Now, Luka, we talk about Luka's style of play. Yeah. And we've talked about it a lot before, and it's eerily similar to James Harden to when he was with Rockets, just holding the ball a lot.
He's not as good as James Harden was.
But this is what we'll say, because we were getting on James Harden hard because in those crucial moments he didn't get over the top, right? But he was at least in those crucial moments, and his team was always winning. But now you got Joker, did Joker already win 2 MVPs? He won 1.
I think he won 2.
Yeah, he won 2. This would be his 3rd, possibly.
I think he won.
Yeah, he won 2. And I don't hear anything about championship or bust for them.
Well, let's keep it 100. The problem is no one really believes that those two can carry their teams to an NBA championship. That's just bottom line. Let's be real. Yeah. When you look at Embiid, you're like, yeah, he can put the team on his back and they can win it. Joker and Luka can't do it. They just can't.
I'm just saying what you saying, and you can say it too. You seen it on the TVs. It's not what ESPN and them are saying. That's a bad boy. Look at this. Look at that.
I didn't say what they were saying, but I know what they're thinking.
What the truth is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what the bad part about it is, when I look at this, who gonna get the flack for Mavericks not having a good
J. Kidd
and Kyrie.
Yep.
And what's interesting is that when Kyrie's been balling, it's been balling. But when I look at it like this now. How big is Luka?
6'7", 6'8".
6'8" and big. For you to be that big, you got to have an impact on more of the game, right? Because I think you've said it to me before. Just once you get to a certain size, you just naturally can impact certain things.
There's more expected of you.
Right, just because of what you can do. And so with Luka, when everybody's looking at, man, it's not a good defensive team, it's not this, it's not that. With the way small ball is played and the way Luka goes, if Luka was more invested defensively, you guys could play a 5-guard or 4-guard thing with him being, guarding a big or whatever. But he doesn't cross those other boxes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, shit. In today's NBA, he could play a big defensively, because there ain't no bigs that can get down. So
yeah, and they are no threats to do anything, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it was just a bad. Like when they got Kyrie, I assumed that they were going to get Kyrie and keep the other pieces for deep. But shit, they basically screwed themselves.
I think the biggest mistake was because they had Kristaps.
Yep.
Right, but
They ain't playing right.
they didn't play him right because of how Luka plays, right? And now your starting center is Dwight Powell, and it's been Dwight Powell for like the last 5 years or whatever.
Right.
And they do have JaVale McGee on the bench.
Yeah, and he should be playing more.
He should be playing more. And so now you look at it like, even if J Kidd is going to get the blame with it because it's the coach, but you haven't put anything around him that really allows him to, all right, Luka, let's do something different. The one thing Kyrie does do is allow Luka to get off the ball a little bit. I've watched a couple of times where Luka gets a catch and shoot wide open 3-pointer. He's like, damn, I don't get a lot of these. But do you really want to do that? Because that could change your career too. Like it worked for LeBron, it worked for KD, it worked for Harden. Like,
Man, Luka's still young, so he wants the ball in his hands, man.
yeah, that's your
But
guy.
it was a bad pickup if you're going to lose the other guys. If you're going to keep those other guys, then it was a good pickup. But come on, man, you can't lose Jalen Brunson and those other guys and then
Spencer Dinwiddie.
pick up Kyrie and expect it to work. It's not going to work. It's just not, because those other guys were dogs.
Yeah, and it wasn't working with the other guys either because you needed another piece, which was in the paint, which was another big. You needed a presence, a rim runner, or something that can give you a better defensive.
Even without a presence in the middle, if you had Jalen Brunson, it was working.
Yeah,
Because you had a second piece on the perimeter that understood his role.
Yeah.
And Jalen Brunson did all the other stuff plus score.
and now it's looking good for him now. Speaking of that, Jaylen Brown. So we've been talking about whether or not the experiment, but the tandem between him and Tatum would work.
Yep.
And we didn't necessarily talk enough about the fact that together on the court they can work.
Yeah.
But what may be the driving force is actually the city of Boston itself.
Right.
Right? Which most people may be like, what are you talking about? But from us as basketball guys, from you being older and really having the understanding and playing in those areas, being in Boston is tough for young black men. For black men, period. For brown men, for anybody that's not of the northeastern side, and it's starting to weigh heavy on Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
He's an activist too. On top of that, he's also Muslim. He's gonna wear his braids. He's gonna do his thing. He's gonna be who he is. And I heard the stories where he was having trouble buying a home in Boston.
Well, all right. So let me say this from knowing some inside things. A lot of NBA players have had issues buying homes in certain areas. Mm-hmm. It ain't just Boston.
But with Boston's history, that it does say something else.
Yeah, unfortunately, every city in America has that history. But Boston is known for that history. And, it's a situation where you as a player start to think like, dang, do they only applaud me because I'm a basketball player or because I'm a good person and a basketball player? So that stuff starts to weigh on your mind. And that's where he's, undecided in terms of like whether or not he would finish his career there. Because, even though he's got a lot of money, he's popular, there are certain little things that you may go through, on a day-to-day basis that other people don't know about. And people think that you shouldn't care about because you have so much money, but it still affects you. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, when you have a lot of money and you have a lot of prestige, you want to be in a situation where you're just happy. And, I'm pretty sure there were some situations where he's realize that no matter what I do,
Yeah.
on or off the court,
It just ain't gonna work.
it's just not gonna work. And so, he's a human being, and like I said, Boston is not there's been a lot of great basketball history there, but it's not been easy for African Americans there. It just hasn't been.
Yeah. I hate Boston.
So
I'm a Laker guy anyway. So
well, you're supposed to, but
I hate Boston.
but it's not. If you're playing in a certain era and Bird's not putting his arm around you, yeah, you could have some issues. You know what I mean? So
and even then, you might still have some issues.
so
It's
it is what it is. For those who don't realize that, there are things like this that still go on, is because it's 2023. Well, you just don't know.
Well, on the tail end of things, the transfer portal is going to be a heavy topic for at least the next
2 years.
2 years.
Next 2 years.
Right? Until it levels out. But I know you made a note of saying that it's a nightmare for high schoolers, and we've talked about this a lot. But where do we go?
So
What do they do?
This is my point. All high school seniors out there, moms and dads of these high school seniors, realize that if you get an opportunity to go somewhere, take it, because you can always better your situation later. But make sure if you're going to take a risk on someone else's money that wants you, because if you wait around being picky, you can be left out in the dark. Right now, there's over 2,500 kids in the transfer portal already, and those are kids with experience, with college experience, and they're older, they're faster, they're bigger, they're stronger, they're more mature. So they have an advantage over your high school kid. Don't play around with your kids' education. Don't play around with your kids' basketball future. Waiting for this, waiting for that. No, because the transfer portal is killing high school basketball. It's killing high school international basketball right now.
I was just about to ask you, where do the international players stand at now? Because,
Well, if you're not one of the top international players in the world, your best bet is getting accepted into a school, and then going on as a walk-on, and then hoping that you garner enough attention from the coaching staff that they make your preferred walk-on, and then eventually, you get a chance to earn a scholarship. But, just to put it in perspective for everybody, if you are a college coach and your job is on the line, meaning your family's depending on your income, are you going to put your income in the hands of a 17 or 18-year-old high school kid, or a guy that's 21, 22 with experience, bigger, stronger, faster, more mature? Which one are you gonna do? You're gonna go, and there's no penalty for transferring, so you can play right away. So, and I think Coach Ryan mentioned it before. The transfer portal can change the trajectory of your program overnight.
Yeah, Caleb Love is who UNC 3-year starter, UNC big time performance, a pro prospect, just entered the portal.
Yeah.
So, all of you guys who are probably getting calls, all of those calls probably stopped immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna see what Caleb's gonna do first.
Yes,
then
everybody.
we'll holler at you.
Yeah, that's the way it works, right?
Yep.
And then you got teams that are still playing the Final Four, who don't have the chance to recruit and send people out yet, and they got to wait. But now I'm sitting here thinking, you brought up something. I think this should be the last thing we're going. Internationally, if you're not one of the top players internationally in the world, you can't get nowhere. And now my question is, how the hell do we know who's top internationally? Now, I know Uncle Roll already broke down to me how the NBA Academy is working out and how those players are, but all of those guys are going Power 5, G League, or they're getting sent to Europe to play over there, right? So those guys, just the cream of the cream, the top of the top. But everything below that, in between, where, what, how? Because we know of little things that people around here jump off to Scotland and Switzerland and all these other little places and do stuff. But is there something
for the international players? If you aren't playing in the top countries, professionally at the age of, by the time you're 15, 16, you're not one of the top international players. That's just bottom line. You know what I'm saying? Like I played with a guy professionally when I was in Germany that went to school at Butler on scholarship, full scholarship. That means he was one of the top players in Germany. Germany's one of the top, one of the better leagues. So, based on where you're currently playing, if you're one of the top players. And so you have to understand that right now you just want to get your foot in the door, because it's even harder than it was before. So if you can come in as a preferred walk-on, you're a part of the team.
Yeah.
You will get the experience and you will get the inside information needed to potentially further your career, but you have to be willing to say, let me eat some of this humble pie, because I'm not as good as I thought I was, because there's so much competition, and the competition is now older.
Humble pie, that's a season 1 breakdown for you guys. But listen, King, you talking about some work, man.
Yeah.
Like who putting in that much work? Like where? Whatever kid you talking about right now, what example of that type of work has he seen? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like what does he know? Gino Oriema, let me see if I saved this thing. He made a statement. Where's my phone? I gotta find it, because I think it's perfect timing for it right now. Because I understood what hard work was. Because of course it always starts at home first.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I see Mom Dukes. She sacrificed. She do everything she got to do for us to live and stuff. But then the other half of that is, what do you see as far as work within the basketball community? What teams do you play for? Who you playing for? What coaches? Like, is anybody seeing any of that? Or here we go right here.
Kids is harder than enthusiastic kids. Is harder than it's ever been.
Recruiting enthusiastic kids is hard.
Because every kid watches TV and they watch the NBA, or they watch Major League Baseball, or they watch the NFL, whatever sport they watch, WNBA, it doesn't matter. And what they see is people just being really cool. So they think that's how they're going to act. And they haven't even figured out which foot to use as a pivot foot, and they're going to act like they're really good players. You see it all the time. You see it at every AAU tournament. You see it every high school game. So recruiting kids that are like really upbeat and loving life and love the game and have this tremendous appreciation for when their teammates do something well, that's hard. That's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Like with everything, it draw me back to pull that up with everything you were saying, because I was like, I hear what you're saying, and I know how much work I had to do, and how much I was in my own head just so I could get back to somewhere. You know how much work you had to do, but you had a soundboard. You had somebody that you could look at and you could see, or you just had enough of an inner drive because you were like, I didn't want this and that, and you just like, I'm going to push and I'm going to go, because I've seen all the ugly parts of the game before.
Yeah, well, it's no excuse now, because you have more stuff to look at than I did.
But that's what he just said, though.
But
they do, but what you talking about?
They don't have enough understanding. They don't have enough people around them giving them the real.
Yeah.
That's the problem right there, because, Gino, if you go to UConn, like, you got to understand you're going to be coached a certain way. You're a 5-star, you're all McDonald's All-American, da-da-da-da. But when you get there, there's 4 others. You know what I'm saying? So he's coaching you guys hard because that's the only way he knows.
Right.
From his upbringing and his coaching career and things like that. And so when I said humble pie, meaning that anything you can do to get your foot in the door, that's what you have to do. Because you getting your foot in the door is better than 99% of other people in the world. So a lot of people would kill to get those opportunities. And so you have to be willing to sacrifice whatever it takes to get there and stay there. And a lot of people don't understand that until they get, like Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan to get punched in the face.
That's fact.
Then what are you gonna do?
That's facts. And so I will say, the one thing that I want to put down, as my aunt would say, in the envelope for us, we got an opportunity to make Dubai that hub for where if you are a top international player, we can have that tournament showcase here and to bring all of them from different parts of the world and orchestrate that situation here so those guys can come and you make yourself, hey, if you are on the southeast side of this world and you are the top 10 of that space, you got to come and make it be known at the Hoop Mountain Invitational.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make that happen.
We're working on it, and we have that stuff in place already. Is the first part of that is continuing to not only educate some of the players and parents, but also navigate them through this process in terms of understanding that there's a lot of sacrifice. There is no just signing up, I'm going to play on this team. We have practice on Fridays. I'm going to go every other Friday. No, we want to be successful. We got to go every Friday.
Yeah.
You signed up for it. It's a commitment. So we're still at that stage where we're getting people into the basketball mindset, or not even just basketball, but other sports in general. Because listen, man, at the end of the day, I feel like if you're going to come to practice, we don't call we don't call what other people might call classes or sessions. We call it practice at Hoop Mountain. If you're going to come to that stuff once or twice a week and get yelled at, be forced to do push-ups, extra laps, and be forced to learn stuff that you don't know and you're uncomfortable with, why not go all out during that time? Why not? Just to see what happens. And you're not going to the NBA or WNBA or whatever, but you will definitely increase where you're going to go in life.
Man, and I'll end that to say, right, one thing that I'm adamant about, and I'll always continue to say when parents ask me, like, can my kid do this or do that? And I say, listen, what I know about basketball is how great or how much work somebody wants to put in is a choice. Now, you may say, I want to be a college basketball player, so I'm going to make the choice to do everything that I've been told will get me there. Now, I'm not telling you that's going to guarantee you D1, D2, or D3, but you're going to fall amongst them somehow. The work is proven. So if you want to be somebody that's a great high school, great college, or whatever, that's an individual choice. And then from there, once you make that choice, however the ball rolls, you just got to live with it. But you got to make a choice. You got to make a decision to say, I'm going to sacrifice and I'm going to work.
Yep.
But BTG Nation, that's episode 18. That's I'm not sure when the next one will be recorded because we're on standby right now. We're on standby, and then my man's is going back to the ends.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, young Brady.
I forgot about that.
To the end. He got a different fit on right now. He took what you said he had on, the Basquiat hoodie.
The Tommy Davis.
The Tommy Davis
in living color outfit.
Yeah. He gave me the vanilla cream waffle sweater. He's sweating it up a little bit, but
he got on the Baltimore cooking school pants on though.
Hey, listen, King.
Yeah, my man used to go to Baltimore cooking school and come to every event wearing those pants.
Oh my God, man!
He's like, yo, I ain't have time to change. I'm like,
oh man.
All right, so
dog. The problem is that I know exactly what type of person is wearing them joints. I can see it. Like, man, everybody was in the little hat too. Yeah. The little white hat too.
Yeah, he would ditch all that and everything else be cool. But these
white tee.
Oh, you just came to class. Oh, okay.
Hey, listen, King. Right. If you got a couple priors, if you ain't get the GED all together, you know what I'm saying?
Baltimore cooking school, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, I wasn't expecting that one, man. That was funny as hell. All right, BTG Nation, man. HMD, Hoop Mountain Dubai, Hoop Mountain.ae, you know where to find us. Oh, man. Post-game wrap-up and into the spring break, man. I got to get myself together. What you got for us, King?
It's kind of, what you were talking about earlier in terms of, like, players knowing, what's expected of them, what they can do, and things like that. And what do you bring to the table? And so I always wonder, like, this is for our players, like, who are you as a basketball player? You know, who are you as a person? What do you do well? What do you struggle with? What are you doing to fix the things that you struggle with? What do you hang your hat on when you play? You know, what are some things that we can count on every game? You know, are you a shooter? Are you a rebounder? Are you a hustler? Are you a tough defender? What do you do so that we know we can count on you each game? Because if you have no idea what that is, then you need to seek some guidance from whether it's a teammate, your coach, you know, parent who's watched some of the games. But you got to try to figure it out, because that's going to help you along the way. Because, you know, a lot of people out here are just, you know, coming into the gym right away. You know, the first time they touch a basketball after they get hand sanitizer here at our program, you know, they're launching threes. And I see 4 air balls in a row. Why are you shooting air balls? Well, I'm just shooting threes. I'm like, do you make them consistently? No. So why are you shooting them? So that's not what you do yet. So, you know, so find something that you do well, you know, continue to, you know, perfect that, and then you slowly work on the other things. So what do you do? Who are you? What defines you as a player? And that's what everybody needs to find out.
Listen, that'll change your life, knowing your identity.
Yep.
Like knowing who you are. We actually talked about that in the car, where he was like, he's every time he gets in, he has a new reflection. I was like, I'm looking at that. He's learning some stuff. He said, man, I realized that for me, it's harder for me to get up and just do stuff that's just for me. But when it comes to you and coach, he's like, man, I owe these guys. I gotta get up.
Hold on, man. He don't do nothing for me.
Right? What he's saying, like, he's like, I know that, like, for me, like, being self-aware, it's like, if it's just my own project, I'm not moving the same. But if it's for what you guys got going on, I'm ripping and I'm running, I'm invested, the energy is going. And I was like, that's self-awareness, because everybody is not supposed to be the head of the team. Some people are supposed to have a role within the team that allows it to keep moving. But if you know that, then there's no discrepancy later when you're trying to figure out why am I in this position or wherever else. And it helps you grow even more.
Yep.
Right? That identity is great. You know, I would be remiss not to have a post-game wrap up with some type of reflection from Ramadan. Right? This is my second Ramadan too, alhamdulillah. So it's a time of a reflection, recharging, you know, kind of really understanding why you're here, centering yourself. The one thing that I'm being open to more is appreciating the little things. It's as small as being able to go home and we aren't without food. We struggle with money in certain aspects because we want to do so much, but I haven't missed a meal since I got here. We haven't missed a bill. You know, like while we're here, there's some little things that in the midst of us striving to be great, that we just don't get the chance to take and really appreciate. And so within this space, especially with us going over break, you know, just appreciating the little time, the free time that we'll have to really just be clear of thought and just look at the sunrise we're getting to see in the Middle East. You know, the quietness, the stillness, and just appreciating the little things as we strive for those that are greater. So you guys know how we roll. BTG Nation, we gonna say it again. Keep it real, keep it simple, and keep going.
Player and coach, the brother to brother. They both got views that you need to discover. From sports, current events to just life talk. Whether you on a fast break or a nice walk, gotta tune in. You already know, G. This BTG Nation and you one of the homies. Just tune in. You already know, G. BTG Nation, the other ones in the nosebleeds.